Morning guys, as you can see the numbers are growing in this section now. We've now got 6 birds in here and I'll give you the story about that in a moment. We now have 3 laced and 3 white barred. In the polytunnel now guys, as you can see there's still no sign of these tomatoes, so we'll probably set some new ones off. Our beetroot, we only planted last weekend. As you can see, we've got some of these starting to show now. They're a bit sporadic, but already in a week they're starting to show. The onions are coming along nice, at least in one tray. This one's quite okay as well. A bit sparse in some cells, but overall okay. And likewise with this one. But we should get enough out of these 3 trays for what we want, guys. The lettuces have just had the first watering. I've literally just watered these now. That's the first watering since they were planted as seeds. These still haven't been watered, they're still damp and wet. And as you can see, our Swedes are also making an appearance. Again sporadic, but the 2 in some that we planted. Some have got none, some have got 1, and some have got none. So we just, obviously it's only a week guys, there's time yet. With these ones we'll put the cover back on. And same with the beetroot and the tomatoes. We'll leave them anyway, just see if they do come. But we're going to leave the tops off these ones now guys, and the lettuce. Good morning guys, Alan at Alan's Allotment. It's Saturday, the 20th of March 2021. As I see from the very first clip with the satay nets, in that shed we had the 4 hens that we bought 3 or 4 weeks ago. And we've now got another 2 in there. One you'll remember from last week, it was a cock bird and we had to take it out of the Frill Stencil shed because basically it was just still trying to get back in its own box that had been ousted out, and it was just becoming a nuisance in there unfortunately because it wouldn't select an empty box. So we removed that pigeon, closed off his box, closed off the top box, and we took the blue frill stencil hen away from that white bar cock. And then I came to the allotment this morning. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon now, but I've just been pottering around the loft doing little odds and sods. The birds were fed early on. Then Tony landed, he wanted to borrow the wheelbarrow. He's got some concrete coming this morning, so he came and collected the concrete. And I've just been having general tidies up and checking things over, checking the birds over, having a look in the lofts, etc, etc. And then I went into the stock loft this morning to feed the birds, and the blondie neck cock was lying dead. Now I did say I thought these birds had a bit of age about them, and yeah, it looks like that's what it is. There was no marks on the bird, there was no wounds on the bird, there was no signs of illness on the bird. Still had good body weight and everything, and perhaps he just died of old age. However, that takes us down to having only 1 blondie neck cock left now, and if they are as old as I think they are, he might not even fill his eggs if we get him a mate, but we'll try him. So I'll give you a little look in the greenhouse there as well, in the polytunnel, and you can see the beetroots are starting to show already, the Swedes are starting to show already. So that's good. Still no sign on the tomatoes. The seeds I put in a plastic tub last week with the carrots and aubergines and peppers. They're showing no sign of doing anything either. So we might just plant those direct as well guys, but I'm in no rush. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next weekend even. I'm not bothered. Today what I'm going to do after I've had this cup of coffee, which I'm just having now, once I've had this, I'm going to start and select 4 hens that I want to go to those other frill stencil cocks. So we know which one of them is already. We know it's going to be the blue frill stencil. We'll put that back with the white barred cock, but we'll lock them in boxes. And then I need to select 3 other mates for the other. So there is 2 blonding egg cocks. One is a young bird, but he hasn't got the full markings. However, he's got a lot more white in him since I bought him, and presumably after his first molt he'll turn full blondie. But he's still a nice bird either way, and he's carrying the frill stencil gene. That's all we need. And then we've got the older one, which we'll try and get something out of him this year. And then we've got the 2 black white barred frill toy stencil, but they could be carrying frill as well, because one was a frill stencil and a frill stencil F1 hen, the mother, and the father was a toy stencil carrying frill stencil because he has a bit of white spotting in the tail. So we could get toy or frill anyways. I'm going to stop bobbling for now, and then I'm going to have this cup of coffee, and I'm going to go and find some mates for those pigeons and get them set up in nest boxes. I just want to say thanks again for all your subscriptions, likes, comments, all much appreciated. The subscriptions have started climbing again ever so slowly, but that's great. Thanks to those who have, and welcome aboard. And I just want to say that, just for information, I'm getting lots of questions about people asking me questions on the actual videos about purchasing pigeons. In the description field for each video, I always put in an email address if you want to contact me privately, and there's also a link there to the website where the birds will be going when they're for sale. And you can just click that link, it'll take you straight to the website, get signed up, ready, and then when we have birds that's available and they go on the website, you'll be able to purchase them. So always check the description field, guys. If you think, if you want to know ways of contacting me, you can get me on an email, or you can go to the website and contact me from the website as well. Right, for now, guys, I'm going to have this cup of coffee, and I'll catch up with you later. Thanks for watching. Right guys, so we decided to put this frill stencil Lebanon hen, black hen that we had left, to the last well marked blonding egg cock, and they seem to have hit it off right away. Then we have one white barred cock, and we're putting into a yellow hen to see what we can get out of those, see if we can get some yellows as well. Now a yellow's recessive and sex linked, so we'll just have to see how this is going to go. I'm going to need some advice of Robert for this one. Then we've used a little white check Trigonino with the other blonding egg cock. Now the hen is as keen as mustard, and so was he to start with, and now he seems to be frightened of the hen because she's displaying back to him. Little bit of a strange one, that one. And then we have the white barred cock and the white barred frill stencil hen, which were already paired, and as you can see, have hit it off. The yellow hen doesn't seem too interested, but I have a brown I can replace it with if I need to. Brown check. But I really want this pair to pair up. I'm thinking I might just lock them in the boxes now and put a nest ball in upside down and see how they behave. Right guys, all change again. So this pair here, we put the white, the blue frill stencil hen, what we thought was a hen, back in there with that cock, and they were behaving fantastically. And the minute I put the cock in with the believed hen, he was really aggressive with it and wanted to throw her out the box. He wanted to kill her. So basically I've decided not to break the rule, and they need, these young cocks especially, the younger ones that's never bred before, they need to get used to the fact there's another bird going to be in their box with them. These young cocks can be really aggressive. So what we've done with him now, I'm running short on hens to put to the Frill Stencils, unfortunately. So I've got a brown hen which I know is a reliable breed, and she's a lot older than he is. She's 2 or 3 years old, so she should hopefully settle and calm him down. And as you can see, she's responding to him because she's ready to breed. So that's the idea behind in that one. And plus start putting the frill into the brown with a normal pigeon. And she's much smaller than him, that'll bring the size down. Really happy at this blondinette cock going to this F1 Frill Stencil Lebanon. At least I'm being informed it's F1. Even if it is just a black, that'll be fine. We'll start getting that lacing effect into those blacks. The little Trigonino white check hen is settled with this cock. We did put all these in the boxes together, but some were a bit too aggressive. But these two did start to settle down. And again, this one here, this cock here is only a very young cock. It's still learning the ropes. Hence the reason for putting an older hen, which I think she's 2 or 3 years old, to show them the ropes. And the yellow hen was having absolutely none of it, not even interested in breeding. And I'm really struggling for hens, so what I've done is I've decided I would use one of these reduced Trigoninos to go to this other white bar cock, because she was showing signs of wanting to breed in the hen's loft. Now I've only just put her in there yet now, and the cock hasn't started to treed, so he will soon. And of course they'll need 24 hours like this, guys. Hopefully tomorrow they'll all be showing an interest in each other, and the cocks won't be quite as excited and will have settled down a little bit. And then we'll put the balls in the correct way around, and hopefully the cocks will just go and get in the balls and call them. Might be a different story altogether with the two young white barred toy stencils, as they're both very, very young and aggressive cocks, these. So we still don't know whether our Frill Stencil Blue is a cock or a hen. Purely and simply because she was going mental to get out of there. Now it just may be that he was being way too rough, and it could be my fault for not giving them time to settle and let these young cocks get used to the fact there's going to be another box in close proximity. Once they get familiar with the hens, they shouldn't be quite as aggressive tomorrow. So that's what we're intending to do. If this little reduced Trigonino does decide to pair with this white bar cock, I'm sure those youngsters will be very interesting. Might not be the desired effect, and then again it may. Right guys, so as you see, nothing seems to be going according to plan this year. It is what it is. So it would be a waste not to use those Frill Stencils and toy stencils if we can this year. So basically what we've done, you've seen we had a bit of a kerfuffle in the first start. I really thought the Frill Stencil and the white bar cock would have went straight back together, no problem. However, suppose it might have been a different story if I hadn't been so hasty. I thought because they were already paired, I could just let that cock in with that hen and they would just settle down in the nest ball, and that wasn't the case. The cock seen it as an intruder, and even though when they were parted, they were both displaying to each other, as soon as I put it in the box, basically he seen it as an intruder and he was trying to kill that hen. And in my haste, I took it away and swapped the hen. I should have left it in the box overnight, but we didn't. And I've now brought the brown hen, which is an old bird, and it is preferable to put an old hen with a younger cock and an older cock with a younger hen. They just help each other when it comes down to breeding. Now, the other thing to remember with the two white bar blacks in there, the two toy stencil carrying frill stencil, they are late breds. They're of breeding age, as you can see, and they're as keen as mustard to breed. And younger cocks, I often, not often, but sometimes I will use younger cocks because it isn't such a strain on the cock, whereas I don't really like using younger hens. So putting the frill stencil back, the blue frill stencil, which may still turn out to be a hen, back in the hen's loft to just mature a bit more, it was probably a good idea. I do think the Andalusian frill stencil in the other loft is also a hen, but again, because they're hens, or I think they're hens, I'm going to leave them to mature a bit longer. Maybe later in the year what we'll do is we'll take those two and we'll bring them in this stock loft here and take a couple of mates away from what's in this stock loft and put them to the two frill stencil and toy stencil cocks we have in there, which are much older, won't be quite as so aggressive, and we might get a late round off them. So we'll see how that goes. So the young white-barred cocks being as aggressive as they are, we might even find out that they're just not settling down and mature enough, and they might still try to scalp the hens tomorrow when we put them in the boxes. Now, if it means I've got to remove those cocks out of the equation, then I will. And we might end up with only two pairs in there, being the two blondies with the Trigonino and the Lebanon. And if I have to do that, I will. Because I haven't got the time to persevere with those cocks, and being back at work, I can't keep an eye on them. So I can pop up after work at night times, but that could be too late. So anything that doesn't settle down and show interest and being really keen and eager to breed without too much aggression tomorrow will be left. And anything that shows any real aggression, like that white bar cock. The other one doesn't seem to be quite as aggressive, but that one certainly is. If after he's settled with the hen all day and he's finally got used to accept the fact that she's going to be in his box, then he might just be a different story tomorrow. But if it's not, we'll take that cock away, because I am not going to fight with it. And he'll go back in the coloured loft and left to mature a bit longer until he behaves sensibly. I don't know if I'm going to do anything else today. I've enjoyed just pottering around today, to be honest with you, with the birds. I'm having another cup of coffee now, and I may or may not go back out and start cutting some plastic and maybe make a start on covering the pallets over what's going to be the new treehouse. But I'll see how I feel after this, and if I do, then I'll bring you along. If I don't, if I decide I'm not doing anything else, I'll give you a final roundup, and that'll be it for today, guys. For now, stay tuned, and I'll see you later. Right guys, I decided to do a few jobs. I'm absolutely wore out now, but we've done a few more jobs. So, we've dug the tree out of here, as you can see. We dug the tree out of here, and we've planted it over here in this little corner here. We also dug the two rhubarb crowns out of what's going to be the carrot bin, and we've planted those in there. And as you can see, one of them's already starting to make a comeback. So we might have just caught those in time. They might go back on me, but I'm not really bothered. We still need to get some cardboard down around here to mulch this out at a later date, tomorrow perhaps. The tree had started to bud up, but after that's its second move now. It might die on me, but we'll wait and see, and it might just continue. But we had to get it out of there, guys. And as you can see, I've now started plastic coating the base of this. Now, it's not pretty. I'm not really that bothered about it being pretty, just watertight. And it will be. So I'll show you on this end what I've done, basically. So as you can see, we've pulled it tight round the corners, and we've stapled it right down the corner all the way down as well, so that the next pallet will butt up against that. And we'll have a slight overlap on here, and we'll hide that overlap with a plank of wood or a lath or something like that. so we get a complete seal on this. Now, for the time being, I've also brought it, cut it big enough. I had to think about this, and I thought if I cover this and I only come till here with it, which is what my intention is, or even to the bottom of this board, I want to let air in there to let the wood breathe. But I thought rain will also go in. If it starts raining and I don't get it finished, rain until I get the roof on, the rain will go right down there and it will fill up with a puddle in the bottom. I'd start to rot the wood. Then I'll have to poke holes in the plastic to let the water drain out, and then it defeats the entire object. So what I've done is I've actually brought it and overlaid it and just temporary tacked it down to keep the rain out. And then when we've finished and we've got the framing up on the top, we'll just come along with a Stanley knife and cut that back down to this board. So from there to there, plastic will be cut back out to let the wood breathe all round. And we've done the same on this side, as you can see. Now obviously we've got a little bit of a tail end on there and a bit of a tail end on there, and that's purpose so that when I move those away I can fold the corners over like we've done here, and then we can butt the next pallets up and overlap like we said. So we'll cut that a tad longer than our length of 2 pallets. I'm going to try and get this back wall, these 2 pallets here, put back in to keep its shape and frame. I'm not bothered if I don't get that done today, because they've got to be took off and cut down anyways. So if I can get this back these 2 done and get these back into place, and a few more staples in the plastic for now, that'll do me for today, guys. I better crack on. I'll see you later. Right guys, that all went horribly wrong. Right, so you'll see we did get this corner here, and this is what I wanted to do, was to bring this fold over and round, overlapping this pallet. And then of course we've got it all up here. So when we got to this end, I was too short and I wondered what was wrong, but I'd already lifted these pallets in place and started stapling them and put hundreds of staples in. And what it transpires is I had the plastic the wrong way around. So where I cut the extra length for the folds, I'd had it the short way there and the extra length there, which is more than I need. Now none of this plastic will go to waste, but the problem is I'm going to have to now come and cut a nice strip of plastic at least 6 to 8 inches across, and across here as well. But it won't be tonight, I can tell you now. Although I probably will need to seal this up in some way, even if I just tack a bit of plastic on there for now. But I will need to come and put a corner on here, guys, because I made a boo-boo. I'm obviously getting tired and flagging now. I'll crack on, get finished, and I'll see you later. Right guys, I just decided I'd finish the job off and get it done. So there we go, we've got this corner on now, we've got a bit of plastic on there. It's not pretty, we can tidy all this up at a later date. The main thing is the wood's protected now, and we've stopped these pallets from rotting. And as I say, we'll cut the top half out when we're finished and we've got the roof on and everything, so we can let the wood breathe. But we're keeping it like that, obviously, to stop the rain getting down inside the pallets and filling up with water in the bottom and rotting the pallets out. Well, that's a good job. I don't know how I've managed it on my own, but I did. It was hard going, but at least it's all plastic coated now, guys, for now, with the exception of this front piece, which I may get done tomorrow depending on how I feel. But it's got a couple of tacks in just to hold it all down. It should be fine. We're not forecast any gales or anything. So I'm just going to put the tools away and I'll give you a final roundup. I'll see you later, guys. Oh, that's nice. Boy, did I need that. It's nearly 6 PM now, guys. So I've been over there since we put those ends in with the cocks. I've been over there about 5.5 hours now, just fighting on with those pallets on my own. So basically they were all screwed together, so I had to do one wall at a time and unscrew them. I had to lift the pallets out one at a time. We've got our level, so it's just a case of getting them back on that level again. I had to cut the plastic, making sure it was long enough. In one case I didn't. I had to pull it so far through. I had to lift the pallet into place and check that we're going to come up far enough on from the bottom to the middle rail. I get them all put back into place, then to get them all screwed together. So all those pallets are all screwed together really now, top, middle and bottom, with great big long screws drove in from one side, one of the blocks into the next block, and we've got them all done. So then we got the wall secured. Then we pulled up the inside flap and tacked it along the middle rail of the pallets. And then we had to do the best I could, trying to straighten and stretch and pull the other plastic from the outside up over the top and tack it in place. Like I said, it isn't that pretty, but I'm not really bothered, to be perfectly honest with you. I could go over it with straightening it out when I get a bit of sun on it and it's nice and hot, smooth it out and put some lats in place, but I'm really not bothered, to be honest with you guys. It's just going to be serving a purpose as long as it waterproofs the pallets and keeps them dry. We may tidy it up at a later date when I've got nothing to do. That'll be the day. Right guys, I also have laid out 3 pallet collars out there as well. We're going to make raised beds with. And playing with various ideas down the middle, up against the fence. Now, I still haven't made my mind up yet, but we will use those pallet collars. They're 8 inches deep, so we will use those as raised beds. We'll put cardboard down and compost in, and we'll start growing them right away this year. You'll see that at a later date. Another point is some of the youngsters in this stock loft should start hatching about the 22nd or 23rd, which will be Monday or Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday, I don't know, but if my reckoning's right, it's about the 22nd they'll start to hatch, which is Monday, 22nd, 23rd, Monday or Tuesday, either way. So we'll be popping up after work through the week just to make sure, just to keep a check and see if everything's all right, that we don't get anything that hatches out and then dies on the nest and starts to rot while there's another youngster. It does happen occasionally. It shouldn't, but you never know. I do this anyway. And of course they'll want a little bit more food as well in the evening then. So tomorrow we'll come up and we'll let those cocks in the boxes with those hens, and we'll see how that goes, and then we'll decide what's staying in there and what isn't. If those, especially one of the white-barred cocks, really starts to pull that into bits, the cock will come out and then it'll go back in the hen shed. I'm not going to fight on, guys. Anything that takes and looks like it's settling down, and yeah, then we'll leave them in the boxes. We'll probably leave them in for a couple of days, but I'll be coming up each night to check on the water and feeders on the front of the nest boxes. And then about Tuesday I'll probably let them out of the boxes and leave them to it. Put the nest balls the right way around and leave them all to it. Depending on how many pairs we have left, whether it's 1, 2 or 4, I don't know. We'll wait and see, guys. Right, I've babbled on. This one might be a bit of a lengthy video, so some like it that way, some don't. Either way, guys, if you do like it, give me a thumbs up. A dislike, whatever you want. It's all interaction and helps the channel grow, guys. For now, wherever you are in the world, please stay safe, be practical, and keep yourselves out of harm's way. We'll see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.